Welcome to Season of Stuck, the podcast that takes a deep dive into the all-too-human experience of feeling stuck. I'm your host, Deanna deBara, and on this podcast, we explore all things stuck. How and why stuckness happens, what it feels like, how to learn and grow from it, and ultimately, how to get unstuck and move forward in an authentic, empowered way. If you are looking for insights, support, and community as you make your journey from stuck to unstuck, you're in the right place. Now, let's jump into today's episode. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Deanna. I am your host. And I recently read that there are over 5 million podcasts in the world. So the fact that you are here listening to this one is such a trip, but I am so grateful, so excited. Thank you for listening. Since this is our first time connecting, I thought it would be good to hop on and introduce myself, talk about what inspired Season of Stuck, what we're going to talk about here, and what you can expect from episodes moving forward. So first things first, again, hi, my name is Deanna deBara, and I am the host of Season of Stuck. I'm also a lot of other things. I'm a writer, I'm a business owner, I am a very proud and very obsessed dog mom to 2 rescue pups, Bennett, who looks like an Ewok and completely rules our household, and Tally, a staffy mix that looks big and strong, but is actually a sweet baby marshmallow that spends most of her time burritoed in furry blankets. I'm a partner, I'm a friend, a retro gaming enthusiast, a musical theater nerd. I put maple syrup in my coffee, and one time I was in a Real Big Fish music video dressed like an Avril Lavigne impersonator. I clearly missed the memo on wardrobe. But the most important thing to know about me, at least for the purposes of this podcast, is that I am a person that has felt stuck a lot. Like a lot. I have been stuck in so many different ways at so many different points in my life. I could make an entire podcast where each episode is just a deep dive into a bad habit or relationship or career choice I've been stuck in at one time or another. Don't worry, that's not this podcast. I'm just saying. I've been stuck enough that I could create that podcast if I wanted to. And for a long time, I had a lot of shame about that. I thought that these experiences of stuckness were personal failings, that I wasn't doing life right or living up to my potential or being the best version of myself that I could be. But then 2 things happened. Number 1, I got older and gained a little perspective. I am almost 40. And now, when I look back on all of those instances of stuckness, I can see them for what they actually were. They were just steps. They were a transition. For me, stuckness has a tendency to pop up when what used to work for me isn't working anymore and before I have fully figured out what's next. But those periods of feeling stuck are critical steps on the journey towards living my most authentic life. Every experience of stuck precedes a period of serious growth. Why? Because feeling stuck is so uncomfortable that it forces me to look at what's no longer working, define what needs to change, and make those changes, which not only alleviates the discomfort, but ushers me into the next version of myself. For example, if I hadn't felt stuck, I might have stayed in a career that wasn't a fit and never started my business. If I didn't feel so stuck in my brain, which feels like it is honestly out to kill me half the time, I might have never gone to therapy, which has given me so many tools and insights and strategies to help me better understand what's going on between my ears and live more comfortably in my own mind, at least most of the time. And if I hadn't gotten stuck in addiction, I might have never stopped drinking, and my life wouldn't even be a shadow of what it is today. In every situation, the stuck was just a step on the way to what's next. Maybe an uncomfortable step, but always a step in the right direction. And the second thing that happened, I started talking about feeling stuck. For years, I kept my stuckness to myself. I was ashamed and embarrassed that I felt so stuck so often. But over the past few years, I've started opening up more. And in those conversations, my stuckness is mirrored back to me. Everyone I've talked to has experienced their own season of stuck. Or, like me, many seasons of stuck. And that has helped me understand that feeling stuck is not a me thing. It's a human thing. And that is ultimately what inspired this podcast. Season of Stuck is a podcast for anyone that has ever felt stuck. Or in other words, all of us. It's a place to talk openly about the different ways we get stuck, what that experience can feel like, how the stuckness can help us learn, grow, and change, and ultimately, what we can do to get unstuck and step into the next version of ourselves and our lives. Each week, we'll talk to experts and explore stuckness from a new and different angle. We'll also hear personal stories from people like you about how they made the journey from stuck to unstuck and what they learned along the way. I created Season of Stuck in the hope that it would help people like me, or at least the past version of me, people who feel like they're failing and falling short and alone in their stuckness. If that resonates with you, this podcast exists to let you know that's not true, that you are not alone, you are not failing, and together we can explore what it actually means to be stuck and find what we need to not only better understand and navigate our stuckness, but get unstuck and find a way forward. I am so happy you're here. We have so much in store for you, and I'm just so excited. Thank you again for listening. If you want to stay connected with Season of Stuck, make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at Season of Stuck and visit our website, seasonofstuck.com, where you can sign up to have episodes delivered directly to your inbox. Thank you again for being here. It is so appreciated. Until next time, I'm Deanna deBara, and you're listening to Season of Stuck.